Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, the ALCS preview between the Yankees and the Twins. We'll cover that. We had players suspended for gambling, late Soto injury. Let's talk ball. It's an NL Friday. Is that what we...
Oh, you hit that?
I hit that.
Bullet?
Yeah.
I shot you with a banana.
Ace Ventura. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jake Storielli, here with Big Baby David Mendelson, Trevor Plouffe. You can take the dog out of the man, but no, that's not how it works. Trevor is a road dog right now. What time did you get into beautiful Pittsburgh last night?
We're grinding, coach. I got in 4:30 in the morning.
God.
Got in this beautiful hotel room right on the Allegheny River. And about 2 hours later, my alarm went off for this show. So we are grinding it today. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You probably can hear it in my voice a little bit, but you know what? I've always been that guy, gritty utility infielder. That's me and Jamie Carroll, just taking ground balls early, getting in the cage, dripping sweat. It's just a beautiful thing, Pop.
I had me and Jamie Carroll on the mind. I was going to throw Dozier in there. They might be talking Royce Lewis soon, Trev. That kid might.
I got to be honest with you. I got a lot of thoughts on him. Why wasn't he playing in the last game of the series? But
yeah,
maybe that's not for here. I don't know.
Do you have a free day in Pittsburgh? Well, you have to do work in the morning, but I think Apple has the Twins game. So are you loose in the Pittsburgh streets this afternoon?
Yeah, they booted us off. Apple took it over. So, not as good of a broadcast for Twins fans, but it's okay. You can still see the game. Yes, I'll be somewhere in Pittsburgh. Me and Glenn Perkins getting a dinner, a little show dinner. It's gonna be nice.
Thought I saw Glenn in the booth. You got to recruit him for blitzball because you said he's an OG blitzball guy.
He wants to. He's actually mad that he's never been invited. He said he would neutralize my bat, and I said the first day yes. After that, no one's ever been able to. So
that's where if you're on the YouTube, A, subscribe. B, coming live from our warehouse, we're recording something from our Captain's League. If you've been following that, a lot of fun.
Did you sleep there?
I slept here. No, we did a full shift here yesterday. We went back home, reset, and we're like, oh, well, I guess we'll do this Talkin' Yanks episode. Yanks sweep the Twins. Well, I guess we could have just pre-recorded this. And then the Juan Soto news happens last night, and it's one of those weird things, man. I get happy with myself and sad with myself a little bit because, like, I couldn't go to bed for a little bit. I was like juiced up, which it's one of those things that's kind of cool that I still have these fan emotions that kick in. Like, I'm dog tired on the couch. Like, go to bed, Jake. And then rain delay. Juan Soto's out. The Yankees are like, oh, yeah, his forearm for the past couple weeks, and we brought in Dr. Chris Ahmad to scan him tomorrow. And you're like, what if this rain delay never happened? Was this still going to be a conversation? So, yeah, I'm running on fumes. I think there's a little bit of adrenaline involved. But, what's supposed to be like MLB has been hyping up this Yankees-Dodgers series. You also have a London series this weekend. This is supposed to be like a massive kind of baseball planning their stake for the summer with NBA Finals and NHL Stanley Cup about to wrap up, get started. But, yeah, now I'm interested to see. The Soto... It's the beauty and the nightmare of baseball. The Soto thing, literally, he's in the lineup today, and they say, all right, yeah, forearm's tight, but he's good. Or, like, Yankee fans have seen 4 position players get Tommy John. Your guy, Aaron Hicks, Didi Gregorius, Jason Dominguez, and Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
So, Yankee fans, seeing a position player get a strained form, especially the guy that has changed the tone of that whole franchise. I'm laughing at what the warehouse mood is going to be. I wish we could take a video of everyone walking around tomorrow or yesterday, just like bopping around like these Yankees. Is this the year? And now today, like it's going to be somber.
I mean, I could keep going on this, Pop, if you want to do it, or do you want to save it for the Yankees portion? I mean, he definitely changes everything. When he was out of the game last night, the lineup just wasn't the same. I know the result was the same, but the feeling around the lineup was completely different.
He has, we have some connections in Yankee land now. Um, and it's not only is he a top 3 player in the league right now, he's changed just the whole tone and tenor of the team. Like you've talked about the effect of, there's a lot of Latin ball players on every baseball team. And those guys kind of band together as a group because they're in, hey, we live in Cincinnati now. This is a little different. Soto leads the Latin part of the Yankees clubhouse. And just the mentality of Juan Soto gets there early and does hitting. I know that sounds dumb, but like he's hitting the plate when he strikes out in a blowout game. And he's just changed the Yankees' intensity.
I think you were going for identity and intensity at the same time.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It is Friday. Do you want to talk some ball?
Let's talk some ball. And Trevor,
Is it Friday?
It's brought to you by, I don't know anymore. It's brought to you by Momentous. Trev, I think they sent you a bunch of stuff. And
I've been on Momentous for a while, yeah.
They've got all the good stuff. I mean, if you're getting real about this, creatine, protein, omega-3, these 3 supplements support nearly every aspect of foundational health, from aiding cognitive function to reducing inflammation, muscles, and joints. And I want to hook you guys with this one. This is highlighted on the sheet. If you're wondering the deal with Momentous, like how do they stack against other places that you might get some of that stuff? This trusted supplement provider of 30 of 32 MLB teams. Like, this is what your guys...
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. This is what the dogs are taking, bro.
I mean, I thought I was going to be the guy like, hey, check me out. I'm taking Momentous. Look how good I look. But it's actually, okay. All the dudes in the show are taking it. Okay.
I have a compliment that I'll hit Trevor with after this so we get the show back on good terms. And they are fully throughout minor league baseball. They are... they're kind of considered the best. This quote could be out of pocket. I think our sales team talked to them, and it was one of those things where they were like, hey, how should we talk about your brand, blah, blah, blah. And Momentous is like, we're pretty sure we're the best. And we're good. And being with that many MLB teams, I think they have their own argument for it. So, if you're a fit person, like this podcast, go check out Momentous products. Take advantage. Take what the champions take. Hello. Go to livemomentous.com and use code TALKIN. You'll get 20% off your first order. That's live, L-I-V-E, Momentous, MOMENTOUS.com. Code TALKIN, 20% off. Trev, the compliment I'll give you before we start with the National League, because it's Thursday. It's also not a compliment that came from me, but Michael Kay, the legendary Yankees announcer, you, me, and him chopping it up in the hallways before the Wednesday night Yankees game. And, the boys are bopping, an elbow here, a poke there. You were impressed by Kaster's height. Big guy. 6'4", 6'5".
Just stature, not just his height. He's a big guy.
Filled out, but not near a bad way at all. He was hyped, which was one of those reminders, like, I'll never feel that way. Like, I'll just never have anyone tell me, like, yeah, you're pretty big, Jake. Ladies. He looked at Trev and he goes, Trevor Plouffe might be the best looking announcer in baseball. So I'll go fuck myself.
That was a nice moment for me. I'll say that. It's not true. Mark Gubazov exists, but
Mark Gubazov.
I'll take it when I get it. Me and Susan Walden had a great chat, and I think someone said she was singing my praises on
oh wow
call last night.
You got some broadcast.
I've just been getting it all over the place. Yeah, God. I'm hot in New York.
God, if you're in Pittsburgh listening to this, go find wherever Trev and Glenn Perkins belly up tonight. Take a picture. Let's talk some National League Baseball because it's Wednesday. We start with my Snakes. I made a Father's Day date that the Snakes will find themselves in the NL wildcard because currently 500 would get you there. They took 2 out of 3 from Los Hibido Gigantes, including a walk-off from Pavin Smith in the first game. Ryan Nelson with 7.2 out of the pen after the opener. We love that for him. Snakes win the second game. Blaze Alexander's been hitting ton. Really good young hitter for them. People are interested in the defense. Giants win on that last game. You're going to hear about Helio Ramos more later.
Elliott.
He's been balling, dude. And we get some boo birds from Jordan Montgomery, who him and Snell, the 2 late signings. It's been tough. Spring trainings for the pitchers. People forget that. Probably the best baseball being played this weekend, Trevor. The Phillies hosted the Brewers before they fly to London, and they swept the Brew Crew. Phillies only score 6 runs in these 3 games. Unfortunately, the Brewers only scored 2. Hello. Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, we don't know his height, and Aaron Nola, they combined to shut it down. This was the Rhys Hoskins return series. We called it. He was going to homer. He got cheered, and then he got booed. Alvarado came in to close that one off. Castellanos with the walk-off RBI double in the 10th. Orion Kerkering shoving it. Let's see how the Brewers bounce back. Is there any adversity for them? Their division's not really close, and we'll have some eyes in London this weekend. The Mets, Trevor told me not to call it this. They swept the Nationals. I said this was a good shopping series for me. If you're a team that you think you're adding at the deadline, Mets and Nats have a ton of pieces. Mets and Nats fans, if you're mad at me, let me know. But one of those guys could be Luis Severino. 8 innings, shut piece in that final game. Starling Marte with a big day at the office, and so did Bader and Pete Alonso in that second game. That's what I'm saying. They fend off Jesse Winker, Joey Gallo. I don't know. I see assets. Maybe your team does too. Maybe they're going dancing this year. Speaking of back in the mix, Little Papi Gordo's Cincinnati Reds on a little bit of a win streak after they sweep the Colorado Rockies. And they get some pitching up at Coors Field and a lot of hitting too. But Andrew Abbott, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Frankie Montas, 7 innings, 1 hit. Okay, big boy. Graham Ashcraft gets knocked around and sent down in that last game, but they don't care because Will Benson hit. Jamer Candelario hit. Spencer Steer. These are the guys they need, including Jonathan India. Hot. Lot of hair, grand slam. Reds, 3rd in the NL Central. Trevor Plouffe will have the standings after this. You know that. The Pirates, they take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers? Jared Jones, how's your velo? Hitting 101 for the first time in his career. Sure, he outduels Glass now 1-0. And then the Pirates put up 10 in that second game. They get a big second inning against James Paxton, and there's Paul Skenes. So they take the first 2. They have a lead in the last one. Dodgers go nuts. They put up 11. Mookie Teoscar. But good on them Pirates taking down Los Dodgers. Cubbies, they take all 2 games they played crosstown against the White Sox, including a walk-off from the Palatine Pounder, Mike Talkman. Their nickname, not mine. Good for the Cubbies. I guess they 2 one-run wins against the White Sox, but you never know in a rivalry series. Speaking of, the Rays take both games against the Miami Marlins. Sure. Hey, Pepio. Hey, Brandon Lau. He's actually big for them. And Isaac Paredes, all JM. That's what happened in the National League. I did it. That's who.
Oh, my.
You got the standings,
What's that
Trev?
bowl called down there in Florida when they face off? They got a name
The
for it?
Florida rivalry series. We'll stick BBD on that. I
Yeah,
don't
maybe we make one
know.
up. Maybe we
Yeah,
make one up. What's that Alligator Alley series? How about that?
done. That's the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Do you want those standings, Pop?
Need it. I need it bad.
On Sledge? Well, because it's Thursday, we're going to start in the NL Central. That's what we do, where Milwaukee is the only team, even after getting swept, that's over 500. They're 36 and 26. The Cubs, even after sweeping, they're 31 and 32, 5.5 games back. The Cincinnati Reds, 30 and 33. The St. Louis Cardinals, kind of what is you doing, baby? 29 and 32. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, 29 and 33. So a bunch of teams jumbled up there in the Central. We'll go to the West now, where the Dodgers are the only team above 500. They're at 39 and 25, 8 games ahead of those Padres, 32 and 34. Your Snakes, 30 and 33. The Giants, Los Hibidor Gigantes, Los Hibidor Gigantes are 30 and
I think we're canceled. I think that's the last.
30 and 33. That was good.
Run.
What are you talking about?
That's great.
It's called the Citrus
I got
Series.
no voice right now.
Oh, the
Colorado
Citrus Series
is 22 and 40 at the bottom of that West. In the East, the only division with 2 teams above 500, the Philadelphia Phillies, 44 and 19. The Atlanta Braves, 7.5 games back at 32 and 25. And then it's the Mets and the Nats tied 27 and 35 apiece, and the Marlins 21 and 41. And you heard that right. There will be 2 teams in the playoffs right now in the National League that will be under 500. The Cubs at 31 and 32, and the Padres at 32 and 34.
Trev, magnificent stuff. While you were rolling, I don't know if you heard BBD did find it's the Citrus Series.
Oh, I like that too.
So Florida Oranges, that's a thing. Although Houston's called Minute Maid. Let's start wide. You've mentioned a couple times now that the National League only has 4 teams above 500. Obviously, with a Cubs or Padres good series, or a lot of teams that can flip over the weekend, but also it hasn't. So does that tell you anything about the National League, or is it still like baseball has 100 more games to sort itself out?
I think it's more of the latter. I mean, there is something to be said about the National League being top heavy, but I think by the end of the season it will even out a little bit more. I think there are some good teams underperforming, some teams that need to get some players back. But on June 7th, do standings matter that much? I would say they're starting to matter because the trade deadline is approaching. But overall, are we going to see only 4 teams above 500 at the end of the year? No, we're not going to see that.
The the entire NL Central is either in the playoffs or 1 game out as we speak. The Pirates are technically a game back. Cincinnati and St. Louis are a half game back of the wild card as of today. That I don't know. Again, you could call that depth or you could call that ugly. Excited to see my Reds back in the mix, baby.
Yeah, I mean, they needed that. I think Chris Rose, he posed that question about a week ago, and he said, name one team that, you want to give a pat on the back and say, let's get going. He named the Reds. I think I did the Padres. But, the talent is there. We know that. They got hit with a couple tough ones at the beginning of the year, a suspension to Noel Marte, Matt McClain getting injured. So Reds fans could point to that as why they kind of got off to a slow start. The starting pitching is actually been pretty good, but it's nice to see them kind of putting themselves back in the mix and at an important time. You just had Ellie De La Cruz's 1-year anniversary that he hit a home run on. He's had a phenomenal year, kind of answering the critics. I think we've been critical of him at times about what is he? Is it all just hype right now? Like, is he going to turn into like a consistent, producing ball player? And he's done that this year. So, I think there's some really fun teams in the Central. It's good to see them kind of, right around where they need to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of stats in baseball. We talk a lot about a lot of them, and there's no one stat. Otherwise, that would be the only thing we talk about. But run differential, which is a merit of something. The Reds are 4th in the National League, plus 15.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, there are some numbers with Cincinnati where their offense has really struggled. They've got a couple bodies back. And Will Benson and Jamer, like, if they can start to contribute, they've got a W5 in the win column right now. This is a team that had, like, one of the big winning streaks of last year. And I don't know, a season that's felt, I've said this about a few National League teams, so I don't want this to become a running line, but, like, the Reds, there was times, I think they had the 3rd worst record in the National League at one point, and now we're a weekend away from them being dancing, and a clubhouse with a lot of young guys, I feel like that can, Summers here, there's some good juice there.
Yeah. I mean, they're 2-11 in 1-run games. You know, the bullpen has given them fits all year this year. So, I mean, those are things you can address at the deadline fairly easily. So, you know, I think if you look at that record in 1-run games, you could imagine that, you know, kind of turning and regressing to the mean in a positive way. And, you know, that's something you can look at and say, all right, we're playing a little bit better than our record indicates.
Yeah. Trev, I think is bring the scope in, because there's 1 or 2 series that deserve some love. I mean, Brewers, Phillies, but the sports gambling stuff, we haven't talked about this on here. An all-time talking baseball name, Tucupita Marcano.
Yes.
He's gone. Like, lifetime ban. And then we had another grouping of players who got 1-year ban. So I'm sure you guys talked about this on Baseball Today. I don't know. Is there any other original talks or conversations that need to come from this?
I mean, I don't really have any original thoughts on this. It's disappointing. You know, I think a lot of people will say, well, you know, obviously this is going to happen when, you know, Major League Baseball, pretty much every single sports outlet is, you know, pushing some sort of sports book. And to that, I'll say, you know, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, you get talked to every single spring training about you cannot bet on the game of baseball. In fact, they don't really want you betting at all, but specifically the game of baseball. So, you know, it's frowned upon. I think the biggest storyline here in this whole thing, you know, and it sucks for these guys, but, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, except if you're, say his name again?
Tucupita Marcano.
Unless you're him and you only won 4% of your bets, it seems like that's wrong. Like someone made a clerical error there. Maybe it was 40% of the bets because 4%.
I think the rumor was there was a lot of parlays.
Okay,
and
if you're just a parlay master, you kind of deserve it. You know you're not supposed to be doing that.
On a leg-by-leg basis, I'm guessing he clears the 4% threshold.
I don't want to make any assumptions about Tucupita's leans.
I mean, come talk if you want.
Apparently they weren't good. I don't know, man. I'm normally not this guy. Like, again, I have made it 3 jokes as we've started talking about this. Something makes me inherently horribly sad hearing that a 24-year-old baseball player is banned from playing in the best league in the world. Like, I know Tucupita hasn't lit it up, but how many times have we talked about, hey, something clicked for this guy, and now look, like, I don't know. This guy got called up to the bigs at age 21, dude.
I don't know. Maybe this is mean of me. I don't have a lot of sympathy.
Okay.
I don't.
No, I think that's fair. Like you said, this does
from the get-go.
This gets drilled into these guys' heads. There's like one thing you can't do, and this is it.
It's the only rule they read to you in spring training. The only rule.
Like even
it's in every clubhouse, plastered.
Steroids are a lot like more welcome than this. Like steroids, you get, what is it, 3 times getting caught that you get banned for life?
Yeah, this is if you bet on a team that you're on, essentially.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to pretend like I'm horribly sad that I'm losing sleep over it. But
I'll tell you this, Pop, and I don't know if I'm
Okay.
supposed to say anything about this. I put something in our group chat. Little birdies around the league have been talking about that within the next 48 hours we might be seeing something else, something a little bit bigger. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to get in trouble,
Right.
essentially. But that's what the birdies are saying right now.
You said, yeah, the birdie or whisper you heard is that it's something bigger than this previous headline that's passed.
Yes.
That's
Don't put me on the spot any more than that.
no.
All right?
I mean, you haven't.
I mean, even in a more general sense, we know this isn't the last time this is going to happen.
No, and I don't know. They're gonna make example. I was gonna say make examples, but it's been laid out for Tucupita. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is a developing story in baseball. This is a developing story in the sports world. Like we're gonna hear about a football player every year. We're gonna hear about a basketball player every year. Hockey, I'm sure.
The other guys is just like a weird thought exercise. I feel like it's like because I think all of them it was when they were like at pretty low levels of the minor leagues.
Yeah.
I don't. Was one of them? It was their organization, but they weren't on the 40-man then, so it like didn't matter as far as like getting escalated to lifetime ban. Just rules I wasn't aware of,
Yeah.
and I did not know how those worked.
Baseball hot in the streets, Trev. Let's talk some ball because that's what we like.
Yeah.
Let's go Philly and Milwaukee. These are two teams that from the jump this year have been two of the best teams in the National League. I wanted to see, and I'll be tracking my Brewers, and hey, it's a sweep in Philly against the Phillies. There's no shame in that. Obviously not what you wanted. You didn't hit against some playoff type pitching. And I guess, again, everything we've said about the NL and the Brewers have clearly been one of the class teams of the National League. I want to see how they react to this, and I want to track throughout the year. Are the Brewers are they a litmus test team? Like, if they're playing one of the big dogs, are they going to struggle? And if they're going to win against a National League that, again, the majority of the National League is under 500 teams right now, that the Brewers operate really well as a franchise. Maybe I'm reading too much into one series, Trev. What are you thinking?
The Brewers are 11-12 against teams with a record above 500. So I get what you're saying. I still think this is a very, very good team. This is a series that, honestly could have went either way. I think you have to give credit to the Phillies for and their pitching staff for what they were able to do because, we think of the Milwaukee Brewers as, a defense pitch first team, but really their offense has been pretty dang good this year. But the Phillies staff was just a little bit better than them this series. Jared Koenig, I think, what they're doing with like the openers and stuff right now is very interesting to me. And that's a lot of it's by necessity. Gasser went on the IL. I think that you have to be encouraged if you're a Brewers fan by Aaron Ashby coming back up and what he was able to do. Pat Murphy after this last start, so that's the best we've seen him. And that's kind of what we expect out of him. But a series like this is just the difference of getting a big hit. I mean, in the first game, the Rhys Hoskins homecoming, you take a 2-0 lead in the second, then you get a David Dahl homer in the fourth to go up 3-0. Like little things like that, extending the lead from a homer from a guy at the bottom of your lineup. He hadn't played in an MLB game since April 4th of last year. He comes up and gives you some juice, and I think little things like that will win you this series, and they were able to do that. But you get the big hit from Castellanos. He kind of had a good series, and he's starting to go, and we've had a few guys slumping on that Phillies offense, but I think that's where we see, the difference in series is if you have a couple guys just step up in big moments. And it seems like the Phillies are able to do that more often than not. Like they don't have to have everybody firing at the same time, because what they've done so far this season is somebody's stepping up, somebody's getting the big hit, And that was the case with the Brewers also, prior to this series. They just didn't get that job done in this series at all.
Couple fun facts. Rob Thompson's 2-year anniversary of being hired as the Phillies managers in that period of time. 216 wins, tied with the Dodgers for most in the MLB during that span. That includes the postseason, kind of a funky stat, but still the point gets across that for 2 years, the Phillies have been toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, and we've kind of said that, but seeing it in that form was like, damn, all right, Phils.
I mean, I still remember the day he got hired, and we're like, what's going on, man? What
Right.
do they think that's going to be the difference? And I don't know if it is or not. He's definitely changed the vibe of the clubhouse, but the numbers don't lie.
Matt Strahm hasn't given up an earned run since opening day. So when you're looking at why the Phillies have a better record than your team, sure, all the big guys help. But when you're getting performances like that from someone, that's powerful stuff. And I think there was one other, or no, that was kind of my last, Chris Sanchez, but that was kind of my last Phillies note.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, if you're looking at the numbers here, Harper is in a little 10 game slump, 7 for his last 36. Schwarber in the last 6 games, 2 for his last 21. Alec Boehm, 1 for his last 18. Like, to have that going on and still get a sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Glad you mentioned Dahl, an early talking baseball guest. If you're, I don't know, comment below your favorite David Dahl interview memory. And it's just a reminder, I thought about giving him my award because I remember interviewing him. I was so hyped. I was like, dude, this guy, first year All-Star. You see Rocky guys put it together for a few years and have massive seasons. I was like, David Dahl, good on him. He's had some injuries and stuff. He was dominating at your Lehigh Valley to get the call and get that instant gratification from the good people of Philly. He's next to Harper after the homer, chopping it up, talking ball. Yes, David Dahl.
Yes.
What a guy. Another Brewer thing. On Wake and Jake with BBD this week, did a little Jeff Passan at a trade deadline article, went through that a little bit. Kind of the opposite of what we normally say about the Brewers. Maybe just go get an insurance arm right now. I saw someone throw out Trevor Williams, and I was like, that guy has Brewers energy.
That's have Brewers energy.
So I don't know, just something to watch. Even Brewers fans have been like, yo, our starting pitching is just thin right now.
It's thin.
Wonder if they get in the mix.
Yeah, I think passing in there mentioned them as a Luzardo team, and that would be fun.
That'd be a big
drop
trade.
On the table.
That'd be a big trade. And I don't know, we always get skeptical about that Brewers big trade.
They just love those hot Latinos from
Guys
Florida.
with ears that can flip
I feel
again.
it. I feel you.
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
Yeah, my
Been there.
my Instagram search page. Trev, where do you want to go? Because there's some good talking points, but a lot of these series, I don't know. I don't think the rest of them are too girthy.
Well, I'm going to talk about Dodgers Pirates a little bit later in the show. I think that had some star power. My goodness,
sure
a couple
did.
moments there. The Rays, all of a sudden, are they back to 500? I need to check the stats.
Are they a game below? I was just looking at it.
They are 31-31, man.
There you go.
So here the Rays come. A 2-game little sweep of the Marlins, but they've had some really good performances. Bilal back, which is really nice for them. And as you mentioned, Isaac Paredes just really doing it this year. But I'm happy they're back in the mix. You knew they were going to be, Pop.
Yeah, that the AL, which we'll get to in a second because it's Tuesday. Yeah, the AL East, it's fun kind of watching Blue Jays scrapping to stay alive. Rays scrapping to stay alive. Sox kid, says the Yankee fan, ignoring his Soto feelings right now. I think the only other thing that's like an NL topic for me, and I don't know what there is to add, but, well, I want to start with this, Trev, because we're guys.
Okay.
Blake Snell just had a kid.
Oh, snaps. Yeah.
We love that. The conversation was going to be Monty and Snell really struggling. Snell banged up again. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of evidence for the starting pitcher needs spring training theory.
Yeah, I mean, you need to build up and you need to feel spikes on your feet and you need to face big league hitters. And, C. Rosie asked me that question the other day on Baseball Day. Like, do you think this is going to make, free agent pitchers rethink about waiting it out? And I said, no, it's not. I think it's going to be a case-by-case scenario. Like, if you feel like you're getting undervalued in the market, you're not just going to sign because, hey, I need to be in spring training. But you definitely prefer that. You want to be around the guys. You want to get that work in. And it's a little bit, as much as you try to, create your own spring training vibes, in the off season, it just isn't the same. It's spring training is for pitchers. I mean, Aaron Judge didn't really have a spring training, and that's what Michael Kay told us. He used April as his spring training, and that's why he was getting booed by your fan base. And now he's back. But yeah, no, I think it is very important for guys to be able to ramp up in like the right way, the efficient way against big league hitters. I think it does make a difference. Montgomery had some quotes after the game, like, talking about how he feels like he's letting the team down and how bad he's pitching. And I don't suspect we'll be talking in that fashion by the end of the year, as he catches up with the rest of the league. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to monitor because both those guys have just, really, really struggled out of the gate.
Yeah, I wonder, and maybe this is dumb, but what about coming from the other side of it? If this does become more of a thing, if you're a team, like, willing to invest that much money, do you try to bring that to the forefront early? I know it doesn't work like that,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's, again, just case by case. There's no signing period, so this is going to continue to happen.
It's not case by case, Trev.
What's that?
Well, in a way, it is. Kershaw's beef. There were days when I thought I couldn't say that on this show. Kershaw's beef. That's right. Clayton Kershaw. You know the guy. You know him from Texas, right? You know the whole story. You know his friend he grew up with, who's now a friend of a friend. Clayton Kershaw, they sent a big box of meat to the office, and you should have seen people turn into hounds. 100% American beef. 6 different box options. The All-Star box, the Big League box, which is the fan favorite. Not just steaks. They also include Italian sausage, meatballs, sliders, hamburger patties, and more. Delivers fast. Go snag your box today. KershawBeef.com. Use code JOHNBOY. 15% off your order. I mean, this is like, they sent some dinosaur pieces of meat to us.
I saw it in the freezer. It looked delicious.
Crazy. Code JOHNBOY. Kershaw beef. No curveballs, just beef. Yes. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it was one of those, we have a lot of young people in our office. Whoever received the Kershaw's beef kind of just panicked and was like, I don't know, put it in the freezer. And it looked like someone had found a stegosaurus, chopped them up, and threw it in the freezer. And it's like, okay, we eating. We out here.
The way it was put into our freezer.
Yeah.
I'm in Kershaw's beef. I'll take some, cook it up for you guys.
Oh, on that grill. When Trev's grilling, it's a good vibes.
Wait, can I just give snaps to Ian Happ real quick?
Always.
Cubby sweep. Big 2-run double there to make it 7-6.
He's hot.
Chicago White Sox in shambles
Is
right
he
now.
Fuego? It's the weekend. Let's talk American League Baseball. We start out in the beautiful AL East, which is for the birds, the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Man, I'll tell you what, Tuesday night I was getting nervous. Seeing that the Blue Jays were down big to the Orioles again after losing game 1. They drop the first 2. They win the next 2. Exhale, Toronto. They end up splitting 4 games. They even survive your guy, Albert Suarez, in that 3-2 victory. Kate Povich, the kid, gets a start for Baltimore. Would love to know what you Baltimore fans thought. He got hit around a little bit. Well, you say Kikuchi did well. IKF walk-off, put it into my veins. Mount Castle went nuts, and so did Corbin Burns. They split 4 in the beautiful Great North. I really want to stay in that hotel. I got to set that up. Tigers, they take 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers. How's your righty and your lefty? Scooble and Flaherty. Those 2 combined for 11 innings, 1 earned run. Jack left with injury. Have you sent the text yet, Trev? That's your guy.
I have not, but yes.
Okay, Maeda leaves with injury as well. Texas wins the final game. Jose Urania. Jake Rogers with 2 homers, the only 2 runs to win that first game. Go check out his mustache and the way he runs. That's a little talking baseball analytics. Tigers got back over 500, back to 500. Yeah. The St. Louis Cardinals took on the Houston Astros. Astros, they take 2 out of 3, including a comeback in that first game. Alex Bregman. Don't leave that change up there. Yainer Diaz with a 2-run homer to give them the lead. And Jose Altuve. Astros win that second game. Yainer gets back in the mix with Jeremy Pena. Cardinals, Miles Michaelis, Nolan Arenado keep them in the win column to salvage the rest of that series. Mason Wynn, man, I'm putting my chips on the table for him. He's a dog. Like him. Know who might not have that dog in them?
Oh, no.
San Diego, bro. How does this keep happening? Feels like an episode of Black Mirror. They get swept by the Angels. What? Tyler Anderson. That's a guy who will be traded at this year's deadline. Interested to see where he goes. 6.21 Ernie in that one. Adam Mazer, kid, gets the call. Gives them a nice start. 6 innings, 1 earned, but it's not enough. Zach Neto with the big double late, and then he homers on that final game. Your guy, Zach Neto, Trev. I forgot about that. Yeah. Angels get the sweep. San Diego, I don't know, man. One year this needs to stop happening. Royals and Guardians, they end up teeing it up for 2 because of a rain out. Guardians won the first game. Royals win the second game. Tyler Freeman, man, this guy's a highlight reel. Along with Josh Naylor, who I've decided I really want him in the home run derby this year. Pasquatch and Kyle Isbell back for the Royals. They get the win in that second game. Yankees Twins, series of the summer, and we've got it this late in the episode. Doll, what's going on? Yankees swept in pretty impressive fashion. Rodon looked great for a while. Luis Gil cannot be stopped. Judge, Giancarlo. We're waiting for the Soto update. Hey, Royce Lewis is back, and Trev, you've got all of us drinking the Kool-Aid because that guy swings a heavy bat. Carlos Correa said hi to us, and he was nice. Mariners take 2 out of 3 from the Oakland Athletics, including George Kirby and Mitch Spence teeing it up in Game 1. Josh Rojas is putting a fantastic year together, along with Nuke Rayleigh and Mitch Garver. Is he getting hot? You know Brian Wu is. That's my friend on Twitter. Braves and Red Sox split 2. I don't, only can do so much with that. Dom Smith homer. Sox offense went nuts last night. Trev, do you have those American League standings?
Yeah, I will in a sec, Pop. I just went to see what Josh Rojas is doing. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I got a couple questions for you after I give the standings. Right. And because it's a Friday, I will start out west. The Seattle Mariners extending their lead out there. They are 36-28. They are 5 games ahead of the Texas Rangers, who are 30-32. Those Houston Astros, they're sputtering. Over 500 in May, over 500 in June. They're 28-35, 7.5 games back right now. The Oakland A's 25-39, and the Los Angeles Angels, Cole Tucker's team.
Oh,
Willie Calhoun's team, 24 and 30. Mickey Moniak's team,
Your fingerprints are all
24
over that
and
team.
38.
Huh?
They really are, and it's not exactly something I want to admit. We'll move on to the Central. Cleveland, atop of that division, they just keep getting the job done. 40 and 21. The Royals got to be the surprise team of the year, I would say. The Royals are 37 and 26, 4 games behind Cleveland. The Twins kind of sputtering. What are you, Twins? 33 and 29. The Detroit Tigers 31 and 31. And then those White Sox, my goodness, 15 and 48. And then out east, your Yanks, man, they do look good. I have to admit, I don't want to give you too much credit, but they look like a complete team. 45 and 19. They are 4.5 games above the Baltimore Orioles, who are 39 and 22. And then you have the Red Sox, 1 game of five. Of five. 1 game above 500, 32 and 31. The Tampa Bay Rays right at 500 at 31 and 31. And the Toronto Blue Jays, 2 games under at 30 and 32. So right now, Minnesota will be the last team in. Kansas City would be in. Baltimore would be in, along with Seattle, Cleveland, and New York. Outside looking in, Boston 1.5 in the wild card. Detroit, Tampa 2 games back.
Magnificent standings update, Trev.
Yeah.
Your fingerprints are all over those Angels.
I don't know if I like that.
I do. Okay, let's just do Yanks Twins quick. You were in the building. You were calling the game. I was in the building. The stadium was electric Wednesday. There's an energy.
It was electric every day. It really was.
It was one of those cool series to be the Yankees. Like, they're playing great ball. The city's bought in. Like, summer's here. Twins Dodgers this week. Man, the Soto news was a little bit of a dick punch, and we still don't know if it's news or not. But the Yanks are firing on all cylinders, and the Twins, kind of like you said, a little identity crisis. Like, what are we?
I could go on for a long time about the Twins and some of the decision making that I don't agree with, but I won't because I don't want to, get backlash from our fans. This is more about the Yankees, man. And a couple of really good pitching performances. Luis Heel was nasty. Rodon carried a perfect game into the 6th or whatever the heck it was. Twins had some opportunities. I mean, in last night's game, they had 14 chances of runners in scoring position. They got 2 hits. Like, they put the tying run at the plate a couple different times and just couldn't get that big hit. Partly because they didn't have Royce Lewis in the lineup, which is a whole nother discussion. To answer your question, he does not swing a heavy bat. It's actually 30.5 ounces, which is considered, I would say, light.
It's a scouting term
in the major leagues
for me, Trev. It's a scouting term. Yeah.
He hits the ball hard.
When Royce connects. And there's probably actually a scouting term for this. Like him and Acuna, I'm trying to think who else. It feels like their bat is heavy, but it doesn't matter to them. Am I making any sense?
You just made that completely. Beebs, I guess, I can't even see the frame. I was going to say, Beebs, get me a picture of somebody. I don't know if we can do that this episode. Go check out Royce Lewis's birthday outfit. What he showed up to the field in. You're welcome if you end up doing that. That's something there. But he's a phenomenal kid too. If you need to be rooting for him, I said this in the broadcast last night. He apparently, when he was in the minor leagues, like minor league spring training, they had a rule for him, and he only had so many thank yous a day. He would say thank you to everybody every time he met them and said anything to them. And they're like, Royce, stop saying thank you so much. That's the kind of person he is. So root for him because he's a great ball player, but also root for him because he's a really good person.
That's all we do.
But the Yankees are very good. I'll say that. And then we can move on. Yankees are very good. I feel like we didn't even really see their good bullpen until last night. Bullpen's there. Defense played spectacular. I don't know if that's going to continue. Like Juan Soto made a catch. Verdugo made a really nice catch. Volpe at shortstop really, really impressed me. Yeah, I thought we really saw like the shortstop play, like Correa and him, like on the same field. It's very, very nice to see. In saying that, I hope you guys get good Juan Soto news because it's really fun to watch him on that team. Without him in that lineup, and I don't think this is like anything groundbreaking, it's a completely different feel. When he came out of the game after the rain delay, I was like, we got a chance. With Juan Soto in that lineup, I felt like we had no chance. When he was out of it and they put Verdugo in, even though Verdugo was great on his own right, that's a completely different feeling team without Juan Soto.
Starting with the defense, the Yanks have been strong defensively. Verdugo has played very good defense this year, depending what defensive analytics you're into. He has been like the best left fielder in baseball, and it somewhat passes the eye test. I obviously don't get to watch your team every day. Oh, BBD's got the Royce Lewis cam in the corner. Is that an all-white sleeveless number? No undershirt?
Something like that, yeah.
It's good to be in the show, isn't it, Trev?
He's got it. He's got the it factor.
He is. I'm in on him. Stay healthy, Royce. And yeah, a lot of eyes in the Bronx starting at like 4 p.m. today between the Soto news and Yankees Dodgers. It's it's a fun one. MLB's hyping it up. I'm interested to see, like, are we gonna wake up to the Monday morning tweet that's like, this Sunday Night Baseball was the most watched Sunday Night Baseball since 2014. I hope so, but I don't know so.
Okay. I think so.
Okay, that's good. Trev, honestly, the only other team that I really want to talk about in the AL is the Padres, and I guess Padre fans, I know you guys run hot, but I think we're on the same team. Padres, I'm kind of out until you guys bring me back in. Like, we're under 500 again. I constantly love the top-end talent, but something is off here, and I think Manny gets hurt in this series that, I don't know, I'm off the Padres fun, cool, look how much talent there is bandwagon until they start winning a chunk of games.
Yeah, I mean, they still have, according to Baseball Reference, a 58% chance to make the postseason. I think that has more to do with, like, what we've seen in the NL. But yeah, they're looking for a little bit of consistency with the offense for sure. I think that's, probably the biggest thing for them. You got Jerkson doing it. You bring in over a Rhys, but then everybody else, like, Tatis has gotten going a little bit, but nobody else is playing up to their ability. And I guess you could say, hey, man, that means a strong second half is coming. But I'm kind of on that team, I guess. I do think there's better days ahead of this team. Every single time I watch them and I see the lineup, I'm like, dude, that's like they got the players to do it. They got it, and they bring in the pitching and like they're rumored to be in on, guys like Garrett Crochet to really, give them some depth in the staff and depth in the staff. Okay. But you're right. Eventually you just got to go out and do it. And taking a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Angels, that's tough. It's tough. How many runs they score? 3 runs in the 3 games?
Yeah,
that's not true. They scored 5 runs.
You're looking at that series coming in saying, maybe we can sweep and get hot. And now, I don't know. Hey, they got to see some Ben Joyce topping out at 103. So that can be tough to hit. Jose Soriano's putting a season together. But no, these Angels, they entered this 3-game set at an MLB worst 7-21 record at home.
Yeah, it's tough.
Padres. Trev, is there another series from the AL that jumps out for you? Because we got some awards and things like that. Nothing's really screaming my name.
I do want to talk about Austin Hayes and what he does when he hits a homer. I was just watching the highlights as I was prepping for the show and kind of going through things. The bat drop, like, I still think is cool. How about that? Hits it, big swing, bat drop. Got 2 of them in that first game. I that was just something that caught my eye. I don't know if that means anything to anybody. I mean, this series was kind of interesting, lopsided the first two games with the Orioles. They took care of business, and then the Blue Jays came and salvaged the series, like you said. Good pitching performance by Jose Barrios and Kikuchi. Vladdy's been kind of like proving me wrong and shutting me up a little bit as he's gotten really, really hot here, over May and into June. I said, is he just a 770 OPS guy? Is that just who he is? I challenged him there, and he's been going off since then. And your guy, kind of Plouffe with the walk-off single. This is a guy that's going to play like 17 years in the big leagues. That's just the kind of player he is. So shout out to him. Other series in the American League, I don't know, man. We could go over all of them, or we could move on with the show.
IKF is beloved by his teammates. He's a work ethic guy, and he's slugging a lot higher than he has in previous years. So I think he's doing good things in the Great North. I guess I'm glad you brought this up because there's still in that series Adley homers from both sides in one game. Austin Hayes, did you look at his opposite field homer? It was like, okay, Austin Hayes. I didn't know.
And he hits it, and you're like, okay, like relax a little bit. That's the first thing I thought was, geez, it's like, take it easy, guy.
And Jays in that the third game they won, the bullpen 3 shutout no-hit innings. That's a place that if they could lean on that for a month, I feel like we could be talking about a Blue Jays hot June. Let's get into the second half of the show, Trev.
Shout out Nick Pivetta.
Always. Tigers.
Max Fried, Nick Pivetta, man. Doing it. 7 innings pitched for Pivetta. No earned runs, only 1 hit, 9 Ks. Gotta like that.
Fingerprints are everywhere. I'll be honest with the people. I was just debating giving Max Fried my award and just calling it your richest friend because 13 Ks.
He's not my richest friend.
He'll get close. Sorry, Herge.
About to be.
Oh, the Herge. I forgot. The Herge is coming back.
You take that money
again soon.
You invest it.
I got an idea for something that we'll talk after the show.
You put it in the S&P 500 and at an annual rate of 10% return.
I don't think the S&P 500 is going to give you an annual rate of 10%. But
why don't you guys get Ridge Wallet to handle your money and your cards?
I'd invest in Ridge. I would.
Because
they got luggage too.
And they're a sneaky baseball company. They have MLB team logo wallets for all 30 teams. We've had the Yankees one floating around the office. That's one of those things that one day we're going to say, hey, where's that Yankees Ridge wallet? And then somehow you won't be able to find it. And someone probably from our finance team will go really quiet. Ridge wallet. It's great. It's sleek. Represent your team. And it's the perfect Father's Day gift. June 16th, people. It's going to be here sooner than later.
You want to know what, Jake? Yeah. Fathers would appreciate it because it's well built. And that's what fathers want. Don't give me some flimsy thing. Give me something that's well built. It comes with a screwdriver. So, that's perfect for your father.
Comes with a screwdriver, man.
Your dad wants that.
Know who has a Ridge wallet? Bruce Bochy. Head to ridge.com/JohnBoy.
Jeff Bannister.
You love Jeff Bannister. They're offering markdowns up to 30% for Father's Day. Ridge.com/JohnBoy. Get something well built. Speaking of Miami, my Instagram, well built. Trev, why don't we give your standout performance? This guy stood out.
I gave it to my guy, who kind of is like, for some reason, just getting overshadowed. Whenever we talk about the Phillies and their rotation, we'll talk about Chris Sanchez and how tall he is. We'll talk about Wheeler and what a great contract that has been. We'll talk about Ranger Suarez and the things that he's done on the mound, because he's been probably one of, if not the best pitcher in the National League. But Aaron Nola doing it. And this was on Wednesday. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. And on the season, he's putting up, Aaron Nola type numbers. He's 8-2 with a 2.77, .972 whip. He's not walking guys. which is kind of like a calling card for his. And again, I just feel like, he was the bona fide ace of that club. I don't think he's that anymore because I think you probably put Wheeler and Suarez there, but then you have Aaron Nola. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C there. But he has been getting overshadowed a little bit. So I wanted to give him, a little bit of talk in here. 31 years old, just celebrated his birthday on June 4th. So happy belated to Aaron Nola. And I guess that's my present to you is putting you on standout performance, letting the people know, hey, Aaron Nola, he's still freaking really, really good.
Aaron Nola is still freaking good. You nailed it, Trev. And you could have went Wheeler or Nola this week, and I feel like we've said that a few weeks. Nola leading the National League in innings pitched. We've talked about the value of innings right now. He's got 84.1. And we've talked on this show how All-Star Game, the numbers can get cooked a little bit. You can have a good first half, or if you're on a popular team at the right time. Aaron Nola only one All-Star Game. We'll see you in Arlington, pal.
Aaron Nola doesn't care at all about that.
0%. He got that contract. Aaron Nola's good.
I know what he has in his basement.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go Tigers. It's Friday, so it's a pitching ep for me. Are you going to tell the people, or it seemed like you're playing that coy?
I don't know. Yeah, no. I just said I don't actually know. I'm just guessing, but I feel like I have a good, a finger on the pulse. Is that what they're saying?
Sure.
These days, probably some shotguns, like some hunting rifles. Yeah. He's got like a hunting dog. I think he just wants to go shoot ducks and stuff like that.
He has a sick cabin somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, it might not be sick. Too. I could see Nola just
the view is beautiful, but it's
good.
Just built out of just logs. There's no insulation there. He has a wood burning stove. Yeah. He boils his water over that to take a shower.
Might be another Ridge guy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. Got a hot wife.
Okay. Okay.
I mean that
I'll
respectfully.
get R&D on it.
It's early, people. I haven't had a lot of sleep.
Trev introduced me to some guy in the Twins org. I'm blanking on his name, but Trev was like, "Yeah, this is the other guy in the hot wife crew in the Twins org." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, was it Mike Herman? That's just a running joke we have.
It's nice. I mean,
shout out Mike and Brittany.
It's a nice thing to say.
Yeah, it's a compliment. I'm not trying to hit on your wife. I'm just saying.
Hey, man, I'm gonna jump over to my Reds and their 5-game win streak. And for whatever reason, I get tickled by this a little more. I'd say I give one award to a pitcher that does something at Coors Field. Because when the stat pops up, I'm always like, oh, yeah, this place is like a gag place to pitch and hit. Frankie Montas takes a no-hitter into the bottom of the 7th. He became the first visiting pitcher in the history of Coors Field to throw 7 innings with 9 or more strikeouts while allowing no more than 1 hit.
Okay.
He retired his first 11 in a row. He'd been on the struggle bus kind of his last 8 starts. This was a big signing for the Cincinnati Reds. What was it, 16 mil, something like that? I think it was the most AAV the Reds have ever given a free agent starting pitcher. I might have to double check that, but a great start at Coors Field does not happen, and I wonder if there's a ripple effect for this team, or if Montas can get hot, or if you're Frankie Montas after a rocky start, and you could be like, hey, if I can shut it down there, I can shut it down anywhere. And I don't know. I've been begging for an NL Central team to go, and I hope next Friday's ep, I'm saying that the Reds have won, 11 out of 13. They're in the wild card, and they look good. Because I just like what they built so much last year, and it hasn't clicked this year.
Agreed. And like I said, they kind of got punched in the mouth during spring training with a couple things, but they are a team that looks poised to go. I mean, again, address the bullpen. The starting pitching has been probably better than most fans were expecting. And I mean, unless you're a very optimistic fan, I would love to see the Reds go. I would love that.
They
Get
had
that
a
place rocking in the summertime.
they had a hot streak last summer. It could be happening as we speak, or we could be say something very different on Monday. The beauty of baseball.
We didn't talk about the Giants whatsoever. Elliot Ramos, a lot of people are mad at us for, kind of like not talking about him during our all jam team. He had a big home run. Ian Happ, our guy, since May 1st, 772 OPS, more in line with like his career. He's getting it going a little bit. I mentioned Austin Hayes. You could have talked about him. Luis Heel probably should have got it mentioned. Jared Jones had a great start. There's a lot of good ball being played right now. A lot of it.
Trev,
Mountcastle, was he a snub?
Trev, you're 1,000% right, but the thing of it is, some of these guys might get mentioned in the best part of our show.
Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like, wake up.
I need a little dirt nasty in my life right now. I sound dirt nasty.
That's kind of your Pittsburgh identity, dirt nasty.
I am running on fumes right now.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I like where I'm at right now.
Good.
For the series, I just said, hey, Elliot Ramos needs to be talked to. He's a thick boy, too.
Yeah.
Almost some pop. Okay. It's not Helio. It's Elliot. 4 for 8 in the series. That's a 500 average. 2 homers, 3 runs driven in, 6 mother freaking walks. I'd be scared too. Since joining the Giants on May 8th, Ramos has a 407 OBP, which is 3rd in the NL over that time frame. You got to love that. I like the on-base percentage people. How about Jeimer Candelario? 5 for 15 for Cincinnati. But all 3 of those hits were extra bases. 1 double, 2 home runs, 4 runs driven in, 3 runs scored. He had 2 stolen bases as well. That was in Colorado. How about Yainer Diaz? Showing up, 3 homers in the series, 6 runs driven in, 3 runs scored. He hit a homer in 3 straight games for the first time in his career. He's the first Astros catcher to hit a homer in 3+ games since Robinson Chirinos in 2019. Yeah, he had a big homer there to put him ahead after Breggy tied it. It was nice. For the week, our guy, Fernando Tatis Jr., I don't know if he's our guy, but I like watching him play. He went 16 for 29, 3 doubles, a homer, 4 runs driven in, 2 walks, a stolen base. He had his first 4-hit game since September 15th of 2021. That doesn't sound right. But maybe, 4-hit games are tough. You don't get those a lot. I thought I saw Eduardo Nunez's name on the sheet. That's not Eduardo Nunez, but shout out Eduardo Nunez. How about Yordan Alvarez, though? He went 10 for 27 in the week. 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 6 runs driven in, 2 walks for the 1.192 OPS. It wasn't Eduardo Nunez. It was Dedniel Nunez, New York Mets relief pitcher. He pitched in 3 games. Daniil.
Daniil, thank you.
The pronunciation key is right there. I am very sorry,
And
Daniil.
it's like Elliot for Ramos.
You got to know. If you don't know, you don't know. It's Daniil Nunez. 3 games pitched, 3 1/3 innings in those 3 games. 1 hit, 6 Ks, no walks. That's the kind of outings you want from a relief pitcher. And this is the list you want to be on. For 2 weeks, Ian Happ. I guess I should have read it in Fuego before I started popping off about Ian Happ.
Trev, credit to you. You were doing in Fuego very naturally, just being a good commentator of the game, and then it was all listed out in the next segment.
12 for 40 over the last 2 weeks. That's a 300 average, right on the nose. I got a big nose. 4 doubles, 4 home runs, 13 runs driven in, 8 runs scored, 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches, 2 stolen bases, just getting it done. Playing defense because that's what Happer does. Recording podcasts because that's what Happer does. I think he like owns a shirt company and maybe some coffee companies. I don't know.
He's a businessman.
He really is. I still owe him a bottle of wine, and it's gotten to the point now where I just don't think I could ever give it to him.
Yeah.
Don't think he cares either. How about Zach Wheeler? 3 games started. I just talked about Zach Wheeler too. Wow. Okay. I should have read the sheet. 20 innings pitched, 12 hits, 3 earned runs, 20 Ks for the .95 whip in the last 2 weeks. He's doing it. Everybody's doing it on the Phillies. And then my guy, I have a friend who's Jared Koenig,
Okay.
his financial advisor. I think he's always posting when his outings are going on. He's been an opener. I think he's opened 4 times now for Milwaukee. He did it twice in the series against the Phillies. Had really good success. So 7 games over the last 2 weeks, 7 and 2/3 innings pitched, only 4 hits given up, no earned runs, 11 Ks for the .78 whip. He became just the 4th MLB pitcher since 1969 to start consecutive games more than once in a season.
Who's posting about Jared Koenig? Your financial advisor?
No, my friend who I played baseball with, Jonathan Oler, went to Crespi High with him. He's a
Okay.
senior when I was a freshman. He's, I believe he's doing some. Maybe he's his agent. I
Okay.
don't know.
I follow a guy came to the office with a few ball players, Gata Sports Management, and he's like the reliever whisperer.
Gata?
Gaeta.
Okay.
And he it's just funny that I'll check out the Instagram story and it's like 3 guys. Every day it'll be 3 random guys in different bullpens and he's like, look at my guy. And I'm like, I love it. Let's look at your guy.
Let's do it.
Joe LaSorsa. Trev, a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
The best segment of the show has to be followed by the worst segment of the show. The IL report.
That's called balance, people.
Life's about balance. Except this show. I was going to say handsome, not handsome, but it's just handsome. Man, this is one of the deeper ones I've seen. Blake Snell, mentioned him. Groin, had a kid. All connected. Brandon Marsh goes on the IL. Every opportunity. David Dahl. While you're Abreu, hate that. Ji-Hwan Bae, Tommy Pham, Dom Fletcher, Trevor Williams, Robert Gasser, Chris Martin, Sean Bouchard, Quinn Priester, young pitcher, Cody Clemens, who'd been playing well for Philly. This one, it's easy fishing if you want it. Chris Bryant, dude, on the IL, his 7th IL stint since signing in 2022. That's tough. Returning from the IL. This is what we like. This is where we like to see the fellas. Josh Lowe for the Rays. Okay, they got Lowe and Lau back. That changes things, the 500 Rays. I'm noting that. We mentioned Royce Lewis and what he can do. Michael Conforto for San Francisco. Luba back for the White Sox. Will be a name you hear a lot up until the trade deadline, I think. Led Zeppelin. Fingerprints are all over this. Tyler O'Neill, my guy, the Canadian tuxedo. Emilio and his pagan ways in the Reds bullpen. Can we start off everyone's weekend?
Awards!
Awards are brought to you by our Dan Patrick partnership. You guys probably know by now. If you don't, we have partnered with Dan Patrick and iHeart Podcast. Wake and Jake, me and BBD, talking the world of sports, mostly baseball, but everything. How about your Celts last night, Trev? And Jimmy's Three Things. They're part of iHeart Podcast and the Dan Patrick Show family. We're friends, and friends are family. We're excited about it. It's been cooler than we thought. We thought it was just going to be like, oh, all right, we're friends, see ya. No, we've done some different hits and things, and these shows have shown a lot of growth. So thanks to Dan Patrick and iHeart Podcast.
Thanks, Dan. I had something to ask you before we went on, did the ad.
Let's
and
get
now
personal.
I can't remember it.
Let's get personal.
Oh, what's a pagan?
Oh, great question.
Like if I had to define that right now,
Great question.
I think it's someone who worships multiple gods.
Okay, interesting. I was gonna have them as someone who, like, is into demonic god.
Your Jake's a little closer. Polytheism is belief in multiple gods. Pagan.
Sure.
The Google definition is basically just anybody who has a religious belief other than the main religions, basically. So it's sort of an all-encompassing, like they believe some other stuff. But it gets applied a little more to some like devil worship type things.
It's an informative show.
I had to go there.
It's an informative show.
I'm gonna give out the Blockbuster Video Award.
Okay.
Because I want to bring people back to the days where, you know, it was a Friday night and you're like, I really don't got anything to do. You think we should head on over to Blockbuster? And you got that was one of the best nights that you could have. You walked into Blockbuster, you could just check out the new hits. Hey, what's the new movies that are out on that VHS tape? Let's pick this one out. And then you go get a little bag of candy, you set up, have some popcorn with your family, and all was good in the world. We need to get back to going to Blockbuster, people. Yes. That's all I'm saying. It's too much easy. And you had to work for it a little bit. I think that's what also made it so good. You had to drive there and get it.
There was a debate usually. If you were there with people, you know, you'd kind of bring like, hey, these are the 3 options.
There's 2 movies. Yeah.
What are we doing? And it changes your whole night.
Changes your whole night. Comedy, rom-com, drama.
Scary. Hills Have Eyes.
I've never been a horror movie person.
See, that was our high school time. I'd say once a month we would pick out either a good scary movie or a bad scary movie, and I don't know.
That's how awkward high school kids like get together and like hold hands for the first time. They see a scary movie. Is that what you did? You're like, oh damn, you just hit my childhood.
Okay, dude. No comment.
I don't even know why you're mad at me right now. I have no idea why you're mad at me right now. Anyways.
Oh my God, this is scary. We're under a blanket. Is your calf touching my calf?
Simpler times back in the day.
Times.
Just simpler times back in the day. That has nothing to do with my award at all. I just kind of wanted to give Blockbuster a shout out.
Free ad.
I think there is still one remaining Blockbuster. Isn't that the thing?
Last I checked, there's one in like one of the hipster Oregon towns, and like they're all about it.
Now I'm over it. Now I'm over Blockbuster. We had a Blockbuster match. We didn't really get to talk about it, and I believe this one has legs. This is not just a one-time thing.
Okay.
The Paul-Skenes versus Shohei Ohtani matchup. Yeah. I think what we talked about for a long time, just because of how it went, like how dramatic and how theatrical it was. If you were a fan, and now I'm in Pittsburgh, you know, a couple days after it, and I was really hoping to see Paul pitch, but if you're a fan that was at that game, keep that ticket. I think that's something that you're going to want to tell, like, you know, your kids about, grandkids about. The matchup kind of had everything. And I hope they continue to play this up. If you go like on MLB.com right now, they have like videos of that at bat. You know, you can watch the whole thing. And the way it played out was just beautiful. Paul Skenes first at bat blows 3 100-mile-an-hour plus fastballs right by Shohei Ohtani. The young kid coming up saying, here you go, to one of the best hitters in the world, and just pumps 3 straight fastballs. Not, a couple for balls. 1, 2, 3. Right by him. Incredible. Incredible television entertainment right there. The place was popping after every single pitch. The place was going off. But Shohei.
Yeah.
And I was saying, and people in the Twins clubhouse was talking about it. Like it is a big deal, people. Shohei probably has never had 3 straight 4-seam fastballs thrown to him in his life. Like that's probably never ever happened to him. So Paul Skenes, I don't know if he like wanted to do that to trick him, or he just said, "Here's my best stuff. We'll see what you got." Because I think that's kind of the player he is and the kind of person he is. He just is like really believes in himself, which he should. Second at bat comes around. I'm going to give you the little pitch sequence right here. All of a sudden, that becomes more of an at bat. So you get a 4-seam fastball, swinging strike again. So that's 4 straight pitches that Shohei swings through. 4 straight fastballs that he swings through. And then change up for a ball. So now it becomes more of like a real at bat. I feel like Shohei's now getting into it. Another 4-seam fastball that he swings through. So the first 5 four-seam fastballs that Shohei Ohtani sees from Hoskins. He swings through. It's not on time for. He goes in big time with a fastball to get the count to 3-2, and then Shohei finally makes the adjustment on the 6th pitch of the at bat. Another four-seam fastball. This one at 100.1 miles per hour comes in. It leaves 105.6 at a 32-degree launch angle and ends up 415 feet away in dead center. And just that alone got me going so much because I know Shohei was like, he made an adjustment. Like in the at-bat, I am getting blown up by this guy's fastball. What can I do? You know, whether he gets his foot down just a little bit earlier, I think it looked like he created a little bit more like time, like he like leaned back a little bit after he got his foot down to give himself just that little extra split second to get his barrel through. And the reaction of Skenes was incredible, man. He like kind of like there's a still photo where it looks like he's smiling watching the ball go out to center field. I don't know if that was what was happening, but after the game, it's just, you know, he said it was big on big. And like that matchup is going to be incredible. Shohei ended up getting another hit off him on a fastball, so it seems like he timed his fastball up. And if I was Skenes, I wouldn't go to the well too many more times with that. But people talk about like must watch, like drop what you're doing at bats and stuff like that. There's not too many of them in the big leagues for me, really, if I'm being honest. This is one. Like Shohei versus Skenes is a heavyweight blockbuster matchup. And do you see how I tied everything together right there, Jake? You're welcome.
It's just artistry at its highest form. Trev, great stuff. Yeah, man, there was people, you know, in the media box, like it, you know, oh, Shohei Skenes, did you hear he got him? And that's really cool. And that's I've joked with you guys a few times. I'm going to bring this up in a genuine way. I'm a sports nut. Yes, I love baseball, but like watch the finals game last night. I'm at NFL Sundays, Thursday. Like I'm a sports nut. I haven't been able to go to bed if an NHL playoff game has been on. Might be a little personal problem. We're looking into that.
That is your problem. Yeah, it is.
Caitlin Clark has been this huge topic the past couple days, and I mean, it covers everything. There's race, there's sexuality, it covers everything, and we're not going to deep dive into that. You can...
I want to deep dive. I don't think she's getting treated that differently. Like, she's a rookie. Hasn't that been going on for a while? Everything everyone's saying is true. It's one of those arguments for me, like, hey, the league does have more eyes on it, partially because of Caitlin Clark. Like, hey, mostly because you could say mostly.
Mostly, hey, Angel Rhys has 3+ million followers on social media. Like, who's God, I just want to call her Del Don from my UConn days. Who's our girl on LA? That Kevin's a big fan.
Brinks?
Oh, Cameron Brinks. Cameron Brinks, like she has juice. Like if it was Brinks and Rhys,
Kelsey Plum,
for this rookie class, now we're actually in it. They would be adding juice to the league. Caitlin Clark is a different kind of sauce on the league. So like, and she's getting a physical treatment, which other young players get physical treatment, but she's getting a little more. So almost if you want to say any part of that argument, you can be right for a little bit. And I think that's what's getting the internet so hot and in so much trouble if you want it. Stars. I think stars run like the world. And Shohei's a star.
Basketball has figured that out.
Like, dude, if there's a star in anything, we'll watch them. Joey Chestnut on the 4th of July, that cat's kind of a star. Kobayashi. Like, you can go to different parts of anything. When the Olympics roll around, if there's someone who's a star and they ball out and they've got some swag in whatever event it is, that person becomes a star. The MLB has stars, and we still aren't good at highlighting them. I listened to a lot of Ryan Russillo, and he was talking about this with Van Latham, and they were like, baseball. He goes, baseball, they haven't had stars in a while, and like, is that baseball's promotion? Is that within the game? And one of the guys, Van, chimes in, and he's like, we haven't had baseball. Like, when's the last baseball player that dated like a cool celebrity? And Russillo was like, well, Verlander and Kate Upton, like that was kind of that's a thing. Paul Skenes is dating Livy Dunn. Livy Dunn is a star. Matt Kemp dated Rihanna. I was screaming at my phone. Like, Cole Tucker, I was at his fucking wedding. Vanessa Hudgens. Like,
yeah, I think like more than any sport.
So
baseball guys are dating celebrities.
It's probably a baseball promotion issue, and it's part of the reason this company's been so damn successful. A lot of hard work and some grease along the way.
Check me out.
But dude, that Shohei Paul Skenes live at bat, if you're a baseball fan, you should have gotten like a notification on your phone, click here to tune in. Instead, dude, you want to know the conversation I've had the past couple days? I couldn't watch the Yanks last night. They were on Amazon. What the fuck are we doing? Like, there should be, if baseball was full access, everyone would have been watching that Skenes Ohtani at bat on their phone. We have the technology.
There's a lot to unpack here because your Yanks are kind of one of the problem, not the problem, but they have a good thing going with the Yes Network, so they can't get all the streaming guys together. I'm calling for Bally Sports North. I'm speaking into the abyss. 75% of homes that would watch the Twins games have Bally Sports through DirecTV, and they could not come, or so whoever's providing Spectrum, whatever it was, they could not come to a deal. And so all these people that usually watch the Twins game via their cable network do not get the Twins games. I am speaking there, doing my best to entertain the masses, and people can't. Like I'll put it this way, my like X timeline, my Instagram would, every time I'd be on a game, would blow up. People, talking about what I was saying, or just, saying, hey, good job, whatever it is. I don't get any of that anymore. All I get is, hey, wish we could listen to you tonight. Wish we could watch you on TV tonight. And they can't. Like, baseball needs to figure it out because there are stars in the game, and it's one of the most international games in all of the world, but we can't get out of our own way.
Yes. Hopefully it feels like we're on the cusp of change, and hopefully in 2-3 years, I know like Netflix is streaming NFL games this year and stuff. Hey, maybe baseball catch the net. Hopefully we can like be a part of it, because Paul Skenes throws like nobody ever has and is dating a celebrity. What do you want there? Shohei, we've done the whole thing. I mean, the guy's been tied up in like legal drama. He's handsome. He's Japanese Babe Ruth come to life. I don't know. There's such better solutions, and I hope we get there. Hey, we landed on a pretty passionate baseball topic that we could do an episode on at any moment. That I don't know. I feel bad that my award's getting overshadowed, but it's also like an award about being overshadowed. And I'll keep it high and tight. I've been a little tough on the Mariners this year. Like, I just need the offense to show me more. And they haven't had a lot of competition out west, but maybe that's partially from what they're doing. We talk about their rotation a lot. This Mariners rotation, they're good. And this guy was kind of a guy for me as a little bit of a gag because he had less than 1,000 Twitter followers. Bryan Woo.
Yeah.
6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. Since he has come back for Seattle, he's probably been their best pitcher. A 1.07 ERA through his 6 outings to start the season. That's a Mariners record. He's extended his scoreless streak to 20, or against the A's, a 21 1/3 inning scoreless streak. This guy's a stud, and he's might be the Mariners pitcher that gets mentioned 6th most. So, like, I don't know. Mariners fans, I'm working on it with you guys. I need to see a little more from the sticks. I think I'm going to see more of it. But the pitching is World Series winning caliber pitching.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get to the playoffs and win this division based on their pitching alone. Their offense has not been there whatsoever, man.
Yeah.
And look, they tried to address it in the offseason. I don't know if they're going to try to bring someone in at the trade deadline. I sure hope they're going to try because when you have pitching like this, starting pitching, they could use some bullpen help. They haven't been the bullpen factory that they like to call themselves this year, but the starting pitching alone, you have to support it. Don't be the Miami Marlins.
Yeah.
I think that's a good, hey, don't be the Miami Marlins is good advice for like pretty much anybody. If you just think of like what would Marlins do and then do the opposite.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel bad saying that because I love you, John Jay, and you wear awesome skateboard shoes on the field and
playoffs last year. No, man, I know sometimes we tease ourselves about early trades. God, if the Mariners could go out and get a stick right now, like what does that do for the rest of their season? And you even mentioned their bullpen, and I know Senor Smoke, Andres Munoz, got banged up. He's dealing with some back stuff too. But when we talk about playoff formula, one of Jimmy's three things, how many good starters could they kick to the pen right now? Like they'll figure out the pitching. They already have. And I don't know. I want to give Bryan Woo some love. Mariners, I think you guys want a little more hitting too. So maybe we're on this boat together.
we're on this. Is that a song?
If not, we're writing it.
Okay.
So,
High School Musical, Vanessa Hudgens.
Trev,
This was a grinder episode.
dude, not only was it a grinder ep, but we finished hot. Blood was pumping because we care.
I'm looking at the Allegheny right now.
I'm a looking and I'm a liking.
Do you know I came here in 2004 before the draft, pre-draft workout, man? Bringing back memories.
It's my favorite story.
Walker.
It's my favorite
Where
story.
is Neil? Maybe I'll see Neil. I haven't texted. I'm gonna text Neil.
Hit up
Where
Neil.
you at,
He's
Neil?
like doing some amount of broadcasting for them. I
yeah.
don't know.
Every dude who's come across Neil Walker has been like, Neil Walker's a dude. So
He's like
Everyone likes him.
like mayor-ish without being overly like doesn't put himself out there that much. He's just a nice guy.
I feel like
he's like a Joe Mauer-esque.
Okay, I was gonna go Gibby.
Yeah.
Okay. Same boat.
Yeah, Gibby's a great comp right
Okay.
there.
God,
Just good dude.
we're gonna turn this off and make out through the internet.
No, we're not. I'm going back to sleep.
Trev's going to sleep. I've got to play floorball. Thank you guys for subscribing, for being a part of the show. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes, thank you so
Watch
much.
the London games. Watch Yankees and Dodgers, and watch your team sweep.
Chick sucks.
Unless they already dropped game one.
I do love the fans of our show. I really do.
Good
Appreciate
people.
you guys listening all the time.
A lot of good people.
If I didn't love you, I wouldn't get up on 2 hours sleep. I
Right?
wouldn't.
2 hours. You're gonna
Tough.
take a nap.
I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can go back to. I'm gonna try.
I think you record with
Maybe get some
Rosie.
devil's lettuce.
Nap.